Ah, Stairs of Doom. Sometimes I think you're the only one who understands me. Wait, is this thing on? Right. Welcome back, good viewer. This is Skyrider, and we're on the Stairs of Doom, and it's time to finish this, good viewer. Finish up the Mage Towers. We've only got one thing left to do. Climb up this tile staircase, and progress on upwards. Now, I think that last time, because as you remember that whole fail fest of the guards chasing me for miles, I think the last mage I knocked out was actually the mage that patrols up these stairs. Well, I can't hear anything, so I'm going to take that as a yes. Ah, indeed, it is a yes. Excellent. Right, so, same principle as the other towers. Put the key into the lock.
It's true he has returned. We must be ready. Rough waters lie ahead.
Many will not survive. We must try to redirect the current.
Try as we might to retrieve the talismans, the prophecy is an ocean returning to shore. Little we can do to prevent it, and prepare for its arrival.
Dry and dead is much of the city. The sun will oppose, and the conflict will end in flames.
It's the way of things. Civilizations will burn into the earth, so that it may give life to the next.
Winds of progress always head towards the grave.
Soon, young apprentice, you shall grasp the truth of it. I shall walk the path till I return to the eternal fire.
I don't like being depressed, so I'll knock you out, mate. And we'll hide you on the stairs. Just to be safe, since we've got water arrows to spare. Okay, so this is the treasure room video. Right, so let's also put out these. Oh, come on, stupid mouse. There we go. Okay, good. Okay, good video now. I'm going to show you something here. These torches out as well, for good measure. Now, there are two ways to discover the location of the Earth Talisman here, good viewer. Because as you can see, we have many pedestals, which all seem to contain an Earth Talisman, but only one of them can be real. Interesting. But then, as the saying goes, 8 old men up in a tower, 8 old men, only one with power. Turn away from the hand with the sword, count 7, find your reward.
See the vast earth, and burn in eternal fires.
Down he goes. So, we have all the clues we need, really. 8 old men up in a tower. 8 old men, only one with power. Turn away from the hand with the sword. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and find your reward. Bingo, good viewer, the Earth Talisman. That's how you find out which one's the real one. Although it is a bit... Well, actually, I suppose if you think about it... Ooh, yes, before we leave, grab all the money. Because this one... Because obviously this room is an octagon shape, and this is the northern, or the top end of the room, so it makes sense. But then, also, if you come up here, you turn away from the hand with the sword, i.e. you turn left, not right. So you could start counting 1, 2, 3, etc., which is what I did at first. The first time I did this, and I got a nasty shock because the fake Earth Talismans don't kill you, but they hurt a bit. So trial and error is not generally advisable unless you've got masses of healing potions. But time to get out of here. before they talk more of civilization burning away into the earth. It's all rather a depressing prospect, really. Still, life goes on. And all that talk about prophecy returning to shore. Little do they know that the talismans now will be reassembled. Or will they? All very interesting. Whoa. Sorry. My screen is... but I've got to do something about my computer viewer. I need to go and make me some money. That's what I need to do. Need to make some money and... oh, this is new. I've been here before. Oh no, I have been here before, but just not in this capacity. Shh. Creaky doors. Yes, creaky doors. Okay, but we can't get out the main entrance. We need to get out another way. That's not where I want to go. I want to head towards the water tower. But yes, I need to go and get me some money and find some way to replace this awful computer. Okay, well, it's not awful. Well, it is. It is and it isn't. Because it has a habit of crashing constantly, and the screen turns black on occasion, you know, for a few seconds. It does that, you know, every day, basically. And it's just, you know, a real bastard, and it's inconvenient. And I don't know what it is. I don't know anything about computers, Givua. That's the problem. I don't have the technical expertise to fix it, and it's all just... ugh. But anyway, secret door. Casual breaking of a box, which we could have used a ladder, but oh well. More money. Oh, that's a bottle. Shh, quiet time. Excellent, we're up to 2100. Good, okay. So, Givua. There's a bit of darkness here. Yes. As you can hear, we're in some sort of, well, sewer-like place. Okay, an armory here, and more money. 2262. Water arrow again. And more monies. More monies. And a book. And an Iron Maiden. Let's give ourselves some darkness so we can read the book properly. I can finally get back to work. My apologies for being behind schedule on the new round of vivisection. The workmen have finally cleared out, having just finished walling up the last main entrance to those infernal sewers. The old sewers are still largely unmapped, but present too much of a security risk to be left. I find it amazing that they reach back to the city despite our distance from it. There is still the one secret entrance that we can use to traverse the sewers. The guards that patrol it will deal with anything unfortunate enough to struggle out of that muck. Adaptasiki Beza. So, we now know how we're going to get out of here. Good viewer. Ooh, guard. The key. Down you go, mate. And that's way too exposed. You can have a nice dark corridor to sleep in. Also, good viewer, an Iron Maiden. Old medieval sort of torture device, which I never quite understood, if I'm honest. An Iron Maiden, you know, a cabinet with spikes, you know, in it. I always thought that was an odd torture device. Surely that's more useful as an execution device. I mean, you know, I always thought that the point of torture was to get someone to reveal something that you want, by, you know, physical pain or psychological pain or whatever. Ooh. Down you go. You know, and all that other nice, happy stuff that we all so love about torture. But surely an Iron Maiden would just kill you. I mean, okay, I suppose it would depend on the placement of the spikes, but surely, you know, with they're going to have some go through your chest, and that's going to kill you pretty quickly. you know, some point in the midriff area. Whether it goes through the lungs, or the heart, or even if it goes through the stomach, you know, and the intestines, because that's a bloody painful way to die, you know. I needn't elaborate on the gruesome details for the squeamish, but, you know, as a torture device, I never really understood it. You know, the rack, Stairs of Doom again, the rack, or, thumb screws, you know, these are all sort of temporary, you know, non-lethal forms of pain. And of course, you know, death is the last thing that you want when you're torturing someone, because how else are they going to reveal the information? Unless you're some sort of necromancer. Anybody here? No. You see, the rack, a good, sensible torture device. It comes with my endorsement. Use the rack, kids. You know, that makes sense. You know, stretching someone's limbs makes sense. Painful, but it makes sense as a torture device. If I were an evil genius, not that I am, you understand. But, you know, that would make sense. An Iron Maiden, that's just painful. But anyway, enough of my views on medieval torture. To read these words is to know pain. To know pain is to live in fear. To fear is to travel the false path. You must face your fear to see the truth. The truth is that there is no pain. To know this truth is to walk the enlightened path. The Book of Paths, 6:13. Interesting. Or another way to put that, of course, is fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering. There's a reason I don't do Yoda, good viewer. I'll stick to impressions that I can do. Yoda is not one of them. But that's a good quote from the Phantom Menace, if you ask me. There's someone. Okay, we'll take him out as the last act before we escape through those sewers down there. But speaking of which, good viewer, on the subject of the Phantom Menace, to quote Movie Bob, the movie reviewer on The Escapist, the Phantom Menace is not as bad as you think it is. Because it isn't, good viewer. It's very, very easy to hate on the original trilogy, on the prequel trilogy even. And yes, I do agree with the point that the prequel trilogy is not as good as the original trilogy, because nothing is as good as the original trilogy. You know, okay, it possesses the same name, i.e., you know, the prequel trilogy is a Star Wars trilogy, so therefore we expect the same levels of greatness that we got from the original trilogy. But that's not possible, because nothing can emulate that greatness. It just annoys me. These, you know, this level of fanboy nerddom, not the nerddom, but this fanboy rage. You know that. I mean, you know, I never understood this. It's a very prevalent thing, I think, in gamers, in you know, or you know, in nerd culture in general. I think that people can get incredibly protective, incredibly can get great fanboy rage if something doesn't work out. You know, and I just think, oh, for God's sake, get over yourselves. You know, it's like, okay, yes, you're entitled to have your opinion, but don't, you know, there's no need to go out trolling and spouting all this negativity about something that you supposedly love. You know, it just doesn't make sense to me. I could probably write a whole essay on this sort of subject, good viewer, if I wanted to. Simply because, you know, I'm always, you know, I'm generally sort of in defense of the creatives behind all these things. Oh God, bloody screen. Good thing I'm just running around in circles here. I'm not trying to pad out the video. Let it never be said that I'm trying to pad out the video, even though I'm ranting on something completely off-topic and running around in circles. No, that would be a slanderous accusation, and I take offence to it. But, having said that, let's finish off. The Mage Tower's here, good viewer. So yes, before I leave, good viewer, a question for you. What is your favourite medieval torture device? What would you, if you were some sort of feudal medieval lord, and you wanted to punish one of your rebel followers or something, you rebel scum, then what torture device would you use? There you go, there's a question for you. So let's jump in the water and let's get out of these towers and head back to the city itself. 1 talisman down, 3 to go. And I will see you next time, good viewer, where we will pursue the second of the 4 elemental talismans. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Skyrider. Farewell until we meet again.
This looks like the way out.